Welcome everyone to the Seroptimist International Club of Bangsa Cyber Safety webinar. This webinar is part of a rollout of a series of webinars. Yes, there are more to come in the near future from SI Bangsa because we have the Teenage Survival Kit program. My name is Connie and I am your MC and a Seroptimist member of this club. Before we begin, let's take note of some of the webinar housekeeping rules. Number one, the webinar will be recorded for our research purpose. Everyone here will be automatically muted, and we do welcome questions, so do type your questions onto the chat box, and we will try to answer as many as we can during the Q&A dialogue session. Next up, before I introduce you to our keynote speaker and our moderator who will be conducting this webinar, let me show you in a nutshell what is the Teenage Survival Kit program. Now, the Seroptimist International Club of Bangsa has come up with the Teenage Survival Kit to provide information and support the teenagers. It is a platform to heighten the awareness, provide knowledge for teenagers on all the taboo subjects, and for teenagers to also cope with the many challenges that they face today. So what are the challenges? Let's look at the next slide. Okay, as you know, in media now we have teenage pregnancy and baby dumping, sexual harassment and grooming, cyber safety, which is today's topic, bullying, physical and online, which our keynote speaker will touch on as well today, mental health and depression, and underage sex and child marriages. All these are the challenges that teenagers are facing today, and it is under the umbrella of the Teenage Survival Kit. The next slide, please. What is the desired outcome for Seroptimist Club to have this program? Basically, and ultimately, our outcome will be to create a safe environment for our teenagers and to keep schools safe. Yeah, have lots of programs as well to ensure that the teenagers gain confidence, to be righteous, and to know what is right and wrong. Both boys and girls will be empowered, and hopefully we will know that there will be, adjusted parents in the near future and to be within our community. Next slide. Sorry, I think that's the end of the slide. Okay. So technology is now very much a part of how we live. And we have AI, we have Face ID, we have smartphones, and these technologies are not without its dark side. So our keynote speaker today specializes in cyber crimes and cyber safety. He is Scott Wong. Let me tell you a little bit about Scott. Scott is a program director, developer, trainer, and a child rights advocate for the Foundation's Rolf Schnyder. He has over 25 years of experience in teaching, engaging, and mentoring children and tutoring the youth. Together with his wife, Andrea, they are actively involved in empowering refugee children through computer coding, as well as developing resources and training schools and communities in proactive measures to prevent sexual abuse. Now, Scott has worked with institutions like Suhakam and our Malaysian government to keep our children safe. Next, we have a moderator and to facilitate your questions and answers. She is Dr. Yo Pei Lee and also a Seroptimist member of Club Bangsa. Now, Dr. Yo Pei Lee wears many, many hats. She is a licensed counselor, a trainer, a clinical supervisor, and a lecturer at Monash University, and a Dean of Counseling Studies at Alpha Omega International College. Did I tell you that she wears many hats? Well, Paley also made time to volunteer with Talian Kase Hotline from the onset of this pandemic. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Let's discover and let's talk cyber safety and how we can keep us and our families safe. So now over to you, Scott.
Hi, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Foundation Rolf Schnyder, Datin Chai, Puan Noni Abdullah, my wife, and I thank you for this opportunity of which you have blessed us with to share on this topic with regards to cyber bullying, which includes physical bullying, online bullying, as well as child sexual grooming. Okay, in this day and age for which we live in, it is very important of which we recognize the dangers online. Okay, in order to address it, in order to keep ourselves and our loved ones, especially our kids, safe. Okay, given the fact that we live in an age of COVID, the situation is that everybody is all dependent on going online to do our communication, our learning, and etc. And because of this, it is very important of which we know the dangers involved with it. Yes, of course, this comes with a lot of benefits. The internet has changed and revolutionized the way we communicate and the way we learn. But with all this good of which the internet brings, there are dangers of which we have to be aware of in order to protect our children. Okay, to start off, right? Let's start off with a module on bullying. Okay, let me just click on this. Okay, let me just start this. Yep, it's hidden back here. Can everybody see the screen? Yes. Okay. All right. Great.
Yes.
Okay. Cyberbullying. Okay. Brought to you by Foundation Rolf Schnyder and the Seroptimist International Club of Bangsa. Okay. Bullying. First of all, let's define what bullying is. It is an unwanted, aggressive behavior among people that involves real or perceived power imbalance and a deliberate intentional attempt to cause physical, emotional, and psychological harm to others. Okay, this form of bullying can either take place physically or through the internet, or which we will call online. Okay, that being said, I just have to share with you that when I was young, I was bullied. Okay, I remember when I was the monitor in a classroom, of which we were given a task, or I was given a task to keep the entire class quiet. But there was one particular boy who was noisy. So I was given no choice but to actually write his name on the board as per what was my responsibility. That being said, the headmaster passed by, saw that the name on the board, called the boy, and took him, and he got 2 strokes of the rotan or the cane. After school, even as I was making my way to my bus, he ambushed me. He grabbed me by my shirt, lifted me. Bear in mind, when I was young, I wasn't as built as what I am right now. When I was young, I was a scrawny, thin kid. He grabbed me, he lifted me, and he says, "I'm gonna get you." Okay. With that in mind, I was fearful. I was fearful of being beaten up. But my fear only lasted the entire time when I was in school, and that's it. When I went home, I didn't have any fear because there was no way of which he can get to me. Okay, so I was bullied. I felt the fear and I felt the emotions of what it meant to be a victim of bullying. Okay, so there are several types of bullying of which I would like to address. Number 1, verbal bullying. This is when people tease you or call you names or make inappropriate sexual comments or taunt you or even threaten you with physical harm. That's just threatening. Social bullying is when people leave you out on purpose They tell other children or tell your friends not to be friends with you. They spread rumors about you out there, gossip, or they embarrass you or someone in public. Physical bullying involves hitting, kicking, punching, spitting. I have been spat on before when I was 8 years old by this classmate of mine, or even taking things and breaking someone's things. I've experienced it, or somebody making mean or rude hand gestures to you. Okay, and also right now we've got cyberbullying, which takes place online. That includes bullying through social media, SMS, text messages, emails, forums, blogs, or even gaming platforms. Okay, so these are the types of bullying which is out there right now. Okay, let me just. So the big question is, what is cyberbullying? Okay, let's just watch this video, which I'm going to share with you.
Top 10 forms of cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is a worldwide problem that's growing fast. In this video, we'll take you through the top 10 forms of cyberbullying so you have the knowledge to protect your children. 1. Exclusion. Exclusion can happen in several ways. Your child might be deliberately excluded from online activities, conversations, or social media tags. Children who don't have the latest technology, such as a mobile phone, are prone to exclusion. 2. Harassment. Harassment is sustained and intentional bullying, comprised of abusive or threatening messages sent to your child or to a group. This can severely affect a child's mental well-being. 3. Outing. Outing is the act of publicly humiliating a child or group through the online posting of private or embarrassing information without consent. Even reading your child's messages on their mobile phone out loud can be considered a form of outing. 4. Cyberstalking. Cyberstalking is a dangerous form of cyberbullying in which attackers harass victims through online communications like email or social media. It also refers to adults using the internet to contact and meet young people for abusive purposes. 5. Fraping. Fraping is when someone logs into your child's social media account and impersonates them, posting inappropriate content in their name. Remember, everything rude or otherwise posted online may never be fully gone, even if deleted. 6. Fake profiles. Fake profiles can be created by someone to hide their real identity with the intention of cyberbullying your child. The cyberbully may also use someone else's email or mobile phone to harass them. 7. Dissing. Dissing is sending or posting cruel information about your child online to damage their reputation or friendships. It also includes posting damaging photos, screenshots, or videos online. 8. Trickery. Trickery involves gaining your child's trust so that secrets can be shared publicly online. A cyberbully will befriend your child, leading them into a false sense of security before sending their private information to others. 9. Trolling. Trolling means deliberately provoking a response through the use of insults on online forums and social media sites. A troll will personally attack your child, aiming to make them angry and provoke a response. 10. Catfishing. Catfishing involves stealing online identities and recreating social networking profiles for deceptive purposes. Catfishers look at your child's profile and take information to create a fake persona. This could involve using personal information, potentially damaging your child's online reputation. Please share this video with other parents to help spread awareness and put a stop to cyberbullying. Top 10.
Okay. Bear in mind, I would like all of you to just remember two parts of that, because it has relevancy with my next talk, which is on cyber grooming. Number one, cyber stalking and catfishing, for which this there's a tie-in with these two topics. All right. So bullying in Malaysia, this is the actual case right now. Not right now, as of 2015. There are 14,000 cases of bullying in schools. That's physical bullying. Okay. 84% of children in Malaysia suffer from some form of bullying. 33% of them have admitted that they've been bullied online. 45% have been bullied offline, whereas 15% said that they have committed cyberbullying acts online. These are the bullies themselves. 45% of kids have bullied someone, whereas 15% says that they bullied someone online. Bear in mind that all these figures, right, have increased over the years. Social media contributes to the highest number of cases, and 3 out of 10 children in Malaysia have been cyberbullied. So these figures are staggering. These figures are ever increasing even as time goes by. Okay, many more are unreported. I will tell you why a lot of cases are unreported. So here's another video which I'd like to share to you. This one features a friend of mine. His name is Dr. Goh Chi Leong. And this video was accidentally produced by the Star Rage team.
Reported bullying cases in Malaysia have been on the rise, with 2,825 cases in 2014 to 3,448 in 2016. And because most incidences of bullying go unreported, that's just the tip of the iceberg. It's rare for people to die at the hands of their bullies, but that doesn't mean it isn't as deadly. A British study found that half of all suicide cases in teens could be traced to incidents of bullying. And even if you survive, research shows that victims are more at risk of mental health issues, substance abuse, or becoming bullies themselves.
They reach a stage where they feel as though there's really no light at the end of the tunnel.
Dr. Goh is the head of the psychology department at Help University and has been researching and advising on the psychology of schoolyard bullying for over 15 years.
It's not so much about, physical versus social versus verbal versus cyberbullying. All forms of bullying potentially are very, very destructive. So we shouldn't just be focusing on physical bullying.
Take Sarah, for example. She's only 15 years old, but she's been bullied since she was 7.
Have you ever thought of ending your life?
Yeah, I have actually. Yes, I have actually. It's not just sad, it's mostly emptiness. You just feel like you don't exist.
Hosanna's bully tormented her for years after she told on him for cheating off her in an exam.
He was very unpredictable. You can't really tell when he'll hit you. Sometimes I just wish I didn't wake up. The teachers couldn't do anything about it. They warned him, but they didn't take it seriously because they didn't see anything. And also probably at that particular time, they thought of they all being kids. Boys at 10 years old, what can you really expect?
Yep. That's the reality of things right now. Okay, sorry. Many times, a lot of schools and a lot of teachers just dismiss the fact, just say they are just being kids. Or even happens in the home, where the siblings start fighting or one sibling bullies another sibling. Many parents would just dismiss it as them just being kids. But if you do not nip it at the bud, if we do not stop it, if we do not inculcate a culture of zero tolerance against bullying, it will grow. And I will elaborate more of that later. Okay, so I got to ask any of you, how many of you have been bullied before? Okay, like for me, as I shared with you, I have been bullied before. How did it feel? It did not feel good at all. I lived in fear. Each and every time I went to school, I lived in constant fear, very scared. I don't know when I'll be beaten up. So that psychological torture was even worse than the physical ordeal of being beaten up. Okay, how long did it last? Way back then, we did not have the internet. Okay, so I'm revealing my age of how old I am right now. But way back then, when I was growing up in my teenage years, we did not have the internet. So my torment only lasted during the school hours. Okay, but in regards to cyberbullying these days, okay, it's continual. It's 24/7 in your own home and in your own private safe space. Why do I say this? Because a lot of teenagers, a lot of kids, they are all so dependent on your handphones and all that. So they could even get threats, taunting messages and all that. Even when they're sleeping, even 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, they get a bing, they'll check, and they will see messages of threats coming their way or teasing or something like that, okay? So imagine that whole thing happens 24/7. Even when you're on holiday, vacation, it happens. Imagine, put yourself in the shoes of the victim and imagine the torment of which they go through, okay? The psychological trauma of which they go through. So that's how victims of cyberbullying will feel, embarrassment and such, okay? The reason why I'm showing you a lot of videos today is because I want to bring in the real world, what's happening in the real world, to show you, to let you see that this is not something made up, but this is something real with what's happening in the world today. This is a video showcasing cases in Singapore, what's happening, all right? Okay. So this afternoon, I would like, before I continue, I would like to tell you the basic structure of this presentation. Number one, just to elaborate what bullying is, what cyberbullying is, to take you behind the psychology of the basic psychology. I'm not going into the in-depth psychology because that one I'll leave it to Dr. Paley. But I'm just going to touch on the surface because I cannot go too in-depth because the time is limited. But I'm going to take you to the psychology behind the bully, the victims, and those around them, okay? So right now, I'm just going to elaborate again. What is cyberbullying? Cyberbullying happens online. It could happen 24/7, anytime within 24/7. The victim's humiliation is more intense, okay, because the internet is worldwide, okay? And if it goes viral, the humiliation or embarrassment could be even more far-reaching, okay? The effects of cyberbullying, sad to say that it could last a lifetime because it might happen today, but then it might die down. But somewhere down the line, if somebody finds the photograph again, they just post it and the embarrassment continues, okay? Sometimes in Facebook, you got like memories. It pops up again and somebody just posts it and the embarrassment would continue again for the person, for the victim, okay? Many times, a lot of time, they might just download it and just taunt the victim for years to come. And the sad thing is that the perpetrator, it could be very difficult to find the perpetrator because with the advent of something called VPN, virtual private network, they'll set up fake accounts and all that. So to trace the perpetrator, the bully, would be very difficult. So that is how dangerous cyberbullying can be. Okay, so here are some platforms which cyberbullies use. Social media is very common, 71% of it. Mobile devices, right? Online messaging, online chat rooms. And the types of cyberbullies out there are like classmates who bully one another, tease one another, taunt one another. Strangers account for 39%, as well as young strangers, 39%. Adult strangers account for 36% of cyberbullying in Malaysia. So right now, okay, the question is, why do kids bully? Okay, they like to dominate, blame, and use others. To put it bluntly, they like to use others for their pleasure. They lack empathy, foresight, and have contempt for the weak. They see weaker kids, right, as their target because they feel better of themselves. They find that it makes them feel better for some reason or other, and they don't accept consequences of their actions. Okay. They crave power and attention. Okay. Many times in schools or wherever, where there is a scenario of a incident of a bullying happening right there, there'll be crowds crowding around. And instead of helping the victim, they just stand there and observe. The worst thing is these days, if there is a case of bullying, they'll just take their mobile devices and film it instead of helping the victim. That's the day and age of which we are living in right now. Bullies get relief from seeing others feel helpless. Social bullies, right? They have a very low self-esteem, and that causes them to want to artificially raise themselves up by bullying others. Okay, they want to feel likable to everyone. Okay, therefore they bully, because that's the whole situation. That's the whole world we live in right now. Okay, and many of them, bullies do not understand how to socialize, and they don't know, so they lash out and hurt others physically. Okay, it makes them feel stronger or smarter or better than the other person. Okay, many of them have reported that because they're bullied at home, they repeat the actions out there. Many of them want to hang out with the right crowd. Okay, imagine there's a group of bullies that like to gang together, and a person wants to feel accepted by this group of bullies. They bully so that they can be accepted into that crowd. Okay, they are jealous of another person, and the last one is that they find that it's one of the best ways to keep others from bullying me, to show that you are strong. Therefore, no one would bully them. So that's why they bully others. I've got several cases of that when I was growing up in school. Okay, some of the reasons for bullying includes increased domestic violence in the home. Okay, parental neglect, parental indifference, the need to be in control. Okay, and here's the thing. Okay, bullying behavior gets rewarded by their peers or peer pressure. Ever so often, when there are cases of bullying happening, as you can see in those screenshots of the videos, you will see other people around them just cheering them on, whereas the hapless victim is just crying and crying out for help. The others do not help. The others are cheering on the bully. All right? And the decrease in lack of empathy. A lot of the reasons in bullying, it has to do with the lack of empathy in teenagers or in society these days. Why? Because of the stimuli which comes into our brains. When we are out there, wherever, we watch television, we play the video games and everything, there's an increased incidence of violence out there. And it desensitizes us. Okay? Even as it desensitizes us, it makes it look cool to be violent, to be strong in that sense. So this is what part of the reason why the cases of bullying has increased, as well as the inability to regulate the emotions, pent-up pressure. There are many cases whereby children have shown to have pent-up aggression even as they are brought up in a steady diet of violent video games. That is something I can leave it for some other time. But a lot of children who are addicted to video games, violent video games, have shown behavioral bullying behaviors in school. And that's a scientific fact. Okay. So, okay. What's the victims, the impacts on the victim? Okay, they feel disconnected from school. They don't want to go to school. So henceforth, it affects their academic performance. as well as the school. They lack quality friendships because they do not know how to build, or they are fearful of building any friendships because of the shame of which they feel. Okay, many of them display high levels of emotion, and most of them are all repressed. Okay, and many times they are very emotional outwardly as well, but a lot of them are repressed because they have a great vulnerability and low levels of resilience. They feel that they are less accepted by their peers, and they avoid conflict and to be socially withdrawn. They have low self-esteem. Many of them have proven to have depression, anxiety. They feel lonely and in isolation. Many of them have nightmares, and many have shared that they feel suicidal because they do not have any outlet. They feel like they do not have any outlet. Okay, and the last one is to have many of them feel PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Okay, well, the bullies. Okay, how does it? What are the impacts on the bullies? Bullies are more likely to, they feel disconnected from school, they dislike school because they're just disinterested in it. Many of them, because they have pent-up aggression in them, they get into a lot of fights, they vandalize properties, and many of them drop out of school, they get involved in alcohol addiction, gangsterism and all that. These are all the correlation between bullies when they are a young age to right now, even as they are older. Okay, and people, other students around them, okay, they feel reluctant to attend school. They feel that the school do not protect them. Some of them have even have incidences of mental health problems because of witnessing such incident of bullying out there. Okay, and some of them have a small percentage of them has fallen into alcohol or drug addiction because of this being a bystander. Okay, so the impacts on the schools, the entire climate of the school, the whole ambience, learning environment is also put into question, is also put at risk because of any incidences of rampant bullying happening in the school. Okay, they feel fear and disrespect towards the teachers and all that, the school. They feel insecure, they dislike the school, and they feel that the teachers do not have the power or ability or even the care to stop the bullying from happening. So as such, even the school's environment suffers. Okay, well, cyber victims who are cyberbullied, many of them, okay, we have to know the warning signs of them. If you are out there, you may find, these signs are very important for us to identify because it could save your child or it could save your friend. Okay, what are the warning signs of a victim who's been cyberbullied? Number one, all of a sudden you find them withdrawing from friends and family. Okay, when the child or your friend stops using the computer or mobile phone unexpectedly, they appear nervous. Whenever they go online, they feel uneasy about going out to school or going out, or they feel depressed when using the computer or mobile phone, and he or she avoids discussions about what he or she does online. These are the behaviors of which victims have, okay, or which we all have to be wary about. So if you have a child or you have a friend who's going through this, there could be a high chance of which your friend or your child is going through being a victim of cyberbullying. I've got a friend, okay, he has a son, very brilliant in school. Most of the time he's got top A's. He's always scores the top of the class for many years. And we just found out a couple of years ago that he was bullied. And as a result of him being bullied, he withdrew from society totally. He is now a hermit in his room, doesn't come out, refuses to talk to anybody. And the parents just are heartbroken. The parents just give him his food outside the door. He opens the door, takes his food in, eats, leaves the empty plate out there. He has become totally withdrawn from society, from everyone else, as a result of being a victim of bullying. Okay, so I've given you keys. I've not given you keys. I've given you the facts about what bullying is, what cyberbullying is, the psychology of why they do it, right? How they feel, how the bullies feel, the victims feel, and those bystanders around them. I've shown you the impacts on the bully, on the victim, as well as on the school. So the big question is, how can we stop bullying from happening? What can we do as schools? What can we do as parents? What can we do as friends or siblings? Okay, or as a community, what can we do? So we have different strategies to overcome bullying. Okay, why is it? These are the strategies for schools and communities. It is very important of which you have a clear definition of what bullying is and what cyberbullying. Why is it important? So that these definitions can be communicated to the entire school. So the entire school can identify what is a bullying situation, a bullying scenario, and all that. And with that definitions, we can move towards creating a culture of zero tolerance towards bullying. Okay. Part of it schools can do. Schools can implement a stand up for your friend strategy, whereby if you see someone being bullied, don't stand around and do nothing. Don't take off your phone to film the event. Do something to stop that from happening. Okay. Say something, report cases. You have to, in the school or in the environment or the community of which you live in, always have a reporting structure available so that no matter how small the case, those cases can be reported safely, anonymously, and all. Teachers and parents need to be educated on how they can prevent and respond to cases of cyberbullying. Reward positive behaviors. It's very important because if somebody reports an incident of bullying or cyberbullying, those people who reported those incidences, if you reward it, right, it becomes like a culture that's created that people want to stop something from happening, and you reward those behaviors. Okay, and as I said just now, have adequate reporting systems in place. It's not only should be in the school, but you need to engage parents and the community in the fight against bullying, right? Cyberbullying, offline, online. Okay, so there's a zero tolerance in that. Okay, somebody just messaged and said, Scott, I'm breaking up. Am I breaking up? Is my audio breaking up?
No, it's fine.
It's fine. Okay, because I just got a message from Paley. Okay, all right, sorry. So when bullying occurs, okay, if you're a school principal or you're a school teacher, if you see an incident of bullying happening, most importantly, you clear the scene. Okay, why is it important? So that you do not create a situation whereby the victim is shamed or the bully is shamed. I will get to it later. Okay, so that's very important. Then after that, as a school teacher or a school principal, you should identify hotspots where in the school compound bullying occurs, so that you can actually be proactive in preventing something like that from happening. Okay, as I mentioned before, okay, clear the scene whenever you see a situation of bullying. Clear the scene, pull two parties aside. So number one, prevent embarrassing the victim, prevent embarrassing the bully. Why? Because if you call a child a bully or a bully or victim, many people place judgment on that child. Okay? We do not know why the child resorts to bullying. It could have deeper the child could be going through a situation in his life that causes him to lash out that way. So if you pull the child away and disperse and sort of like not create a scene, the child could be rehabilitated. Okay, so you do not want the bully to be labeled a bully and be shamed. There are many instances where bullies have been labeled a bully and they themselves have been bullied in turn. Okay, if that makes any sense. So there's a vicious cycle that goes on. Okay, it's very important for the bully or the person doing the bullying to know that the behavior is wrong. It's very important for teachers, for any leader or counselors to get to the bottom, to the root of why is that child behaving that way. Okay, and then to implement consequential behavior, consequences that are related to such bullying behavior in the community or in the school. And if the bullying continues, parents of the child need to be brought in. Okay. Schools, or even like in the home, you should set clear enforceable rules and expectations. Okay. Depending on age, keep the rules to a minimum. Okay. Reason being, the less it is, the easier it is for kids to understand. Okay. Make sure the rules are age appropriate. Teach your students or your children the rules. Set an example for rule following behavior. And as a teacher, discipline master, or parent, be consistent in enforcing the rules. That's very important. I can't stress this enough. There are many schools of which I have taught, many communities of which I've taught. It is very important to create a culture that has zero tolerance towards bullying. That is the way forward. Okay? To inculcate a culture of empathy and respect towards one another, race, age, economic status, okay? Respect in the home, school, and the community. And with regards to the child, ensure the child feels safe. Okay, why is it important to let the child or children or students feel safe, especially when it comes to reporting, so that it would encourage others who have been bullied to come forth to share that. Okay, in the school, let the students know that you can come report any incidences of bullying, either offline or online, no matter how small. It is very important to share that, to report that, so that you can prevent some things like that from happening again. All right. For schools, okay, teachers and parents, it's very important for you to look for the warning signs. Number one, when you see an incident of bullying happening, pay attention. Okay, do not bury your face on your phone. Always look around. Find out whether it's happening with the same kids. If, let's say, for example, it's happening to the same kids, like the bully and the victim, find out why. The situation could be that the victim could provoke the bully, and that caused the bully to lash out. So don't always look at, to be close-minded in that sense. Okay, always look at the reason why. That in order to do so, I encourage you to talk to the bully, the victim, as to find out what's happening. Okay? Find out whether there's been changes in the kid's attitudes over time. Okay? Find out whether the student gets in a lot of fights or have friends that bully others. When that happens, you can identify whether there's a gang going on in the school that terrorizes other students. Okay? And find out whether the student over time has been increasingly aggressive. Okay? If that child has been increasingly aggressive over time, find out why. It could be because the child is going through some struggles in the home or playing violent video games or some other reasons why. So it's very important for schools and parents to find out why and all that. Okay? So if the child is engaging in bullying behavior, to fully understand, get to the root cause of the problem. Don't just treat the surface issue by implementing a punishment to the bully. Find out why in order to curb that thing from ever happening again. Okay? For the victims, okay? Here's some of the strategies of which victims can utilize to overcome that situation with the bully. Number one, it's very important, okay? Like this is what I did. I ignored the bully and I walked away. I did not take action. Why do I say this? Because many bullies, they thrive on the reaction they get. If you fight back, then they would feel empowered to bully you even further. If you ignore them, they will say it's not worth it because no matter what I do to intimidate the victim, right? No matter what I do to intimidate the victim doesn't react. So why do I continue doing so? So just ignore the bully, right? Sooner or later, the bully will get bored and stop bullying you. Walk tall. For the victims, if you're out there and you feel bullied, you don't know what to do, just ignore the bully, walk tall, confident, and whatever the bully does, just ignore it. Do your best to ignore it. I know that sometimes it's very difficult. I've been through it. Just ignore it. Walk tall and just send a message that it's not causing any disruption in your life. This is regards to physical bullying, okay? For cyberbullying, I will come to that shortly. Okay, hold your anger. Most important thing, do not react, because if you react and you get angry, the bullies know that they've got a hold on you, on your emotions, and that would empower them. Okay. So if you're in a situation where you deal with bullying and you can't walk away, many times use humor. You could use humor to just throw the bully off or to help diffuse the situation. Okay, give me a minute. I don't know why is this person very persistent. Sorry, give me a minute. Hello? Hello? Yes? Yes? Sorry. Okay. Hello, sorry. That was a very persistent call, okay, which I don't know what it was, but it could have been emergency. But anyway, it's just a parcel delivery. So sorry, everyone. Okay, so hold your anger, all right? So number 3, don't get physical, okay? Because if you get physical, the bully would feel more empowered. The bully could know more than the victim. The bully could beat the victim to a pulp, right? So violence is never the answer, okay? The more, if you use violence against a bully, there are incidences or there are possibilities that the victim could get hurt even more, okay? So there are other ways of standing up for yourself. You can stand up for yourself by gaining control of the situation, walking away, or be assertive, being confident that what you are walking away from, you are doing the right thing. Okay, so don't get physical. Practice confidence, okay? As what I mentioned before, always know that even as you're walking away and not reacting to the bully's actions, you are doing the right thing. And just by walking away and ignoring it, just to diffuse the situation. Practice feeling good about yourself, even though you have to fake it. It's very difficult because I myself, when I walked away from the bully, it was very difficult. But I had to fake it at first, but even as it went over time, it got better. Okay, you could take charge of your life, like what I did. When I was young, I was a very thin, scrawny kid. But ever since the incidences of bullying, I started taking bodybuilding. Okay, I learned the martial art. When I learned the martial art, it wasn't because I wanted to lash back and beat the bully up. I learned martial arts so that I can protect myself to prevent being bullied anymore. Okay, or you could even take classes like yoga to control the emotions, aggressive emotions of which you face. Okay, I exercised. That's what I did. Okay, another way of which you can gain confidence is to hone your skills in something like chess, art, music, computers, or anything, or even design. Join a class, gym, or club that would help you to socialize with, to make other friends, and to gain your confidence. Talk about it. Most important thing, okay? Encourage your child, or for you children, if you're here, or the teenagers or the youth who's joining us today, if you're feeling depressed, or if you know that someone's bullying you, or if you're being bullied, don't keep it all inside. Because if you keep it all inside, it would tear you apart inside, it would fester, and it would not be very good for your mental health. Always talk about it. Confide in a guidance counselor, teacher, or friend, or even your parents. Confide in them. So to get the support of which you need. Talking can be a good outlet to let out the fears and everything, and of which the person can walk you through it. Okay? Find your true friends. Your true friends will not bully you, will not make fun of you, will not gossip about you. Your true friends, if there's any nasty gossip about you, your true friends will say, hey, it's not true, and will defend you. So it's very important for you to find your true friend. Okay. As for cyberbullying, everyone, I would like to tell you right now, cyberbullying is an offense under the Malaysian Multimedia and Communications Act 1998. Okay. If found guilty, the person could be fined up to 50,000 or jailed up to a year. Okay. So just to let you know, if anyone out there is being cyberbullied, you can make a report. Okay, and I will go through the processes with you. So what do you do to report cyberbullying? I'm going to play this video for you right now. Then you can see.
Cyberbullying has become a dangerous threat in Malaysia, and victims often do not know where to turn to. Malaysia was ranked second in Asia for cyberbullying among youth, based on a research conducted by Ipsos in 2018 involving 20,793 respondents worldwide. President of Malaysia Cyber Consumer Association (MCCA), Siraj Jalil, says that victims of cyberbullying must first make a report to the police.
Sekiranya individu yang terkena itu tadi menjadi mangsa keadaan buli cyber, perkara utama mestilah dilaporkan kepada pihak polis sebagai penguat kuasa kepada atak-atak dalam negara kita. Bila dilaporkan kepada pihak polis, kemudian pihak polis ni biasanya akan buat satu rujukan kepada pihak Suruhanjaya Komunikasi Media untuk mengesahkan bukti yang ditonjolkan oleh mangsa itu tadi.
He added that victims have the right to report the case because it falls under the Multimedia and Communications Act 1998 under Section 211 and Section 233. Section 211 and 233 states that no one shall provide content which is indecent, obscene, false, menacing, or offensive in character with intent to annoy, abuse, threaten, or harass any person.
Another process that victims could take is by reaching out to Malaysia Cyber Consumer Association (MCCA) through their Facebook page or their official website for their advice or opinion.
Kalau nak minta pendapat dan nasihat, sentiasa.
Okay. So, for cyberbullying victims, very important for you to block all communications with the bully, keep all evidence, refrain from any retaliatory actions, report incidents of cyberbullying to school authorities and parents, and to tell a teacher if the cyberbullying continues. Okay, that's very important. You could even make a report based on this screen. All this contacts will be emailed and shared with you later, and all this information will be shared with you later. Okay. Thank you very much. Is there any questions right now? Or
do you want to address question right now? There's one that says, do we know of cases in Malaysia? Let me see. Where schools have effectively managed bullying in school, and is there a dedicated helpline for teenagers to reach out to?
Okay, there are dedicated helplines out there. Tell you what, I will share to everyone through an email because I've got all your emails. I'll share it with you, all these dedicated helplines and all that kind of things. As for schools out there, I know there are different schools, international schools who have a very active so like zero tolerance to bullying going on. One of it is the Help International School, which they have that going on. Okay, some of them have been very successful in that, and all these kind of things. I will share with you some of the success stories out there. Okay.
Right. So Scott, would you also include? Is there a social media platform to report cyberbullies, and how does it work, and how effective is it?
The social media platforms, they are out there, right? I will also include it later on a message as an email to everyone else. Okay. How effective it is very hard to say because all this kind of data has not been released through the organization that is operating this social media platform.
Right. Then you can move on. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Because I've got a lot of things to pack in, especially for the next one. So the next one would be quite very important for all of us to pay. So like to just dedicate some time to it. So Paley, I've still got like half an hour, is it?
Yeah, unless we can get permission from all of us here to just extend a little bit.
Okay, so sorry. Okay. All right. This is very important, everyone, with regards to the situation of which we live in. Okay, there are lots of teenagers going online, and many of them are spending more and more time online to socialize, to get to meet one another. So this topic is very important because sexual predators are ever increasing online, especially here in Malaysia. And sexual predators will use the tactic of grooming to win over the youth. Okay, so this topic is very pertinent to youth these days. Okay, so this topic is how to keep your child safe online. First up, okay, for any teenager out there, okay, or all of you, you can see this profile on Facebook. This guy's name is Alex Sean Chong. Okay, he goes by the nickname Rockstar. He is very active in his church.
You're not seeing your screen.
Oh, you're not seeing the screen. Okay, so sorry. Okay, because I stopped the sharing. Share screen. Okay. Okay, everyone can see? Everyone can see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So picture this, all right? You're a teenager. You see a Facebook profile like this, and his name is Alex Sean Chong. He goes by the nickname of Rockstar, okay? You can see that he's very active in his church, loves the normal pop group and all that kind of stuff, loves chilling, loves adventures. He loves going out there. He loves dogs and cats and all that. He volunteers in the animal shelter and all that. So the big question is this: if you're a teenager, or you as a teenager, when you see a Facebook profile like this, and this guy, Alex Sean Chong, reaches out to you on Facebook Messenger and wants to be your friend, you see him be active in church, loving animals and all that, would you as a teenager want to be his friend, to accept a friendship invitation from him? That's a big question. A lot of people I've spoken to says, yes, he's a safe guy and all that when they meet him online and all that. But the big question is this: how can we be sure whether or not this profile on Facebook is real? Okay, he or she could be a sexual predator waiting to prey on you or your child. Okay, it could turn out like this. Okay, this is an example of how it could turn out.
Hi, Zach. Here's another video for my special guy. I can't believe we haven't talked all day. I wish you went to my school or a little closer so we could finally meet.
Hey, kiddo. Dinner in an hour. Don't spend too long on the phone.
Okay, I know you've been waiting for this for a while, so I wanted to give you something special. Is this okay?
Who are you? Why are you doing this?
Hi, Zach.
Okay, so that is a video which is a reenactment, but that is nothing new. Okay, that is actually happening out there. Many teenagers have been caught in that trap. Okay, many times when they see a profile on Facebook, they think it's real. They reach out to this person. This person reaches out to be a friend. The victim accepts the friendship, and then they gain their trust, and this is what happens. And it's nothing new out there. For parents, be very wary of the dangers out there. So the reality of the situation in Malaysia is this. Okay, these are the headlines in our newspapers. There are lots of predators who are preying on our teens. The Star Rage team has done an excellent award-winning expose on sexual predators out there. I highly recommend each and every one of you to view it online, okay, on their website and all. So still preying on young girls on Facebook after 10 years and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so what is a sexual predator? Okay, a sexual predator is essentially a person who goes out there online or even like offline, you know. the person will come to befriend the victim or the family. So to win their trust in order to manipulate the child to get what he wants, he or she wants, okay? There are many times it happens more likely happens to males, okay? Most of these sexual predators are males, preying on females as well as males, okay? So sexual predators will groom, okay? The word groom, their victims to gain their trust and build a relationship with them or their family, right? To win the community around, then to get what they want. What the sexual predators want? To get explicit photos of them, the children, to meet the person so that the person can engage in sexual activity, to engage in sexual conversation or to online role play. That's what gets them high and satisfied, or to receive some sort of financial benefit. So what is sexual grooming? It's when predators build an emotional connection with children to gain their trust, okay, for the purposes of sexual abuse or exploitation. So it happens online, offline, happens to people of which the child knows or the family knows, as well as strangers, and the victims cannot comprehend what happened because many times the victim is too blinded by love, so-called love, and they are deceived by the sexual predator. So in Malaysia, there are lots of cases, and the cases are ever increasing day by day, okay? Sexual predators prey on their children using social media accounts, like social media platforms like Facebook or WeChat, Kik, BeeTalk, WhatsApp, Snapchat, Facebook Messenger, and others. Sexual predators also use gaming platforms, okay, like Xbox, Stream, Twitch, or even like kids gaming platforms such as Roblox, okay, to groom their victims and to meet them online. Okay, here is a video which I'd like to show, okay, which is expose.
We learned from our police sources that chat apps are now the #1 modus operandi for sexual predators in Malaysia. And what is more troubling is that most of the victims are under 18. To find out just how serious this problem is, we created fake accounts on some of the more popular chat apps in Malaysia. We posed as a 15-year-old girl and enabled the people nearby function and waited.
Within half an hour, I received over 10 messages, all from men. And according to their profile, they were mostly middle-aged, but definitely over the age of 18. And the messages kept on coming.
There are more and more cases that reported to the police. They get acquaintance to the perpetrator through social media like WeChat, WhatsApp, Facebook, and other chat apps.
It's a process of befriending a child and getting a child or a young person to do something that the groomer wants. And it's usually sexual in nature. And so they take time to build this trusting relationship. Then the next stage follows, where the groomer gets the child to come out and meet him, or slowly desensitize the child to touch, and then the assault or the molestation takes place.
Although there were no sexual advances, he originally wanted to meet at his house, but we insisted to meet at a restaurant.
Sit back down, sit back down.
Dia mula dia introduce saya, borak-borak biasa je. Lepas tu bila dah lama dah mesej-mesej, borak-borak suka-suka macam tu, saya dengan dia cerita pasal pernah tak awak buat hubungan seksual. So saya belum lagi, saya tak pernah. Dia ambil saya time nak balik sekolah lah. Dan dia bawa saya, dia kata kat situ ada hutan. Saya macam keraskan pada saya supaya tak nak pergi situ. Dan dia tarik saya kuat-kuat dan kami buat seksual kat situ.
First dia cakap, can I get your nude? Saya cakap,
sorry, I can't. Dah lama-lama tu dia minta couple. Lepas dia pujuk banyak-banyak kali, saya pun bagi je lah. Anggaran saya bagi gambar ni dekat lelaki 20 orang ke atas.
When grooming takes place, the child very often feels that they actually may be the girlfriend or the boyfriend of the groomer. And before you know it, they are trapped in a situation where they are being sexually exploited. And they can't get out of that situation.
How many of us parents actually sit down and talk to the child about online dangers? And kids not being savvy on what's happening are the ones that are most vulnerable. Really, it's a shopping mall for predators.
Okay, parents and teens, even as you're looking at this, yes, the sexual predators out there, and this is something of which we all of us have to be very cautious and wary about. Okay, and it's not only on chat apps or anything. This video, which I'm going to show you, it also involves gaming platforms, okay, which we all have to be very careful about.
Kids and video games often go hand in hand, but tonight we're delving into a dark side of online gaming. Pedophiles getting access to your children through chat rooms. Here's Melissa Correa.
Video games these days come with a chat room feature. And while there are versions of games just for kids, YouTube reminds us adults can easily sneak in.
They'll start developing their own relationships with those kids there. They'll go on there, they'll start talking to them, they'll pretend to be children themselves.
Sergeant Luis Menendez Sierra investigates online child sex crimes. Houston police are tracking a 200% increase in cyber tips within the last 3 years. A lot of those new cases start,
hey, how are you? What's your name? Where do you live?
with a simple chat.
Hey, do you play often? What games do you like to play? And then it leads to, hey, do you have a girlfriend? Oh, no, or yes, you know, oh, you don't? Why don't you? Do you have another device where we can talk, or another platform where we can talk and share pictures? Oh, I want to see what you look like. And then next thing you know, there's an appropriate picture exchange, and that's where it just barrels out of control.
Pedophiles get children to send photos of their naked bodies.
I've seen some as young as 6.
The kids don't know what's happening. We now live in this selfie culture.
They start making the children do outrageous things. Say, you know, send me this, send me that. And once the child says, well, no, I don't feel comfortable. Well, guess what? I know everything about you. I know all your friends. I know all your family. I know what school you go to. And I'm going to send them that picture that you sent me before, if you don't send me a picture now.
Detectives have tackled disturbing cases where online predators convince kids to sexually abuse their siblings.
Just because it all starts with that one image.
Okay. Kids. So we've seen, right, cases, and that cases, the first video which I showed is actually an expose that happens in Malaysia. This expose was done by the Star Rage team. This other video I took it online, and it features cases overseas. But given the fact that we're all on the internet these days, even if it happens overseas, it's also happening here in Malaysia. There are lots of cases whereby sexual predators have even gone to a children's gaming platform called Roblox. Okay, you look at it, it's innocent enough, but there are lots of sexual predators on that platform grooming children. Okay, so what are tactics of a sexual groomer? Number one, they target the victim. How do they target a victim? They go online, they just search online, could be Facebook or Snapchat or Instagram or anything like that. They target the victim, they befriend the victim, they gain their trust. So they actually tell the victim, right, even as they gain the friendship with the victim, they build a friendship and a relationship, and then they fill a need of which the victim is going through. The teen or your teenager, they feel a need. to let them know, you know, I care for you, I love you, I understand what you're going through. You're beautiful, you're pretty, and such. So it fills a need in their life. Okay, then they isolate the child. Then they will go in to make contact with the child. Then after that, they maintain control of the child if they have got their images of the child. So the child will be scared. Okay, I think the best thing, right? I'm going to show you this another video later on. Okay. So the modus operandi of the groomer. Why are we studying the modus operandi of a groomer? So that we can understand what are the dangers and what they go through and how we can actually minimize the risk to children. Okay, number one, they stalk children. They stalk them through social media apps, instant messaging apps, dating apps like Tinder and such, gaming platforms like what I mentioned about Roblox and all. Chameleon, okay? They hide their identities online, like what I showed you before, Sean Chong, or the fake Facebook profile, so that they pretend to be children, they chat and become friends with the targets. Then through the photographs of which the child has, the sexual predator would know where the child likes to hang out. Okay, if the child likes to hang out in this McDonald's in Bangsa, right, there'll be several photos of the child in that McDonald's outlet. Yeah, so in this, the sexual predator would know where to hunt the child down. So photographs, they do it through the photographs of which they post online. Okay, here is a survivor story of a 14-year-old girl. Okay, that's quite hard-hitting, so just brace yourself.
Mula-mula dia bagi video lucah. Lepas tu dia kata, awak sampai situ. Lepas tu suruh saya jumpa lelaki, awak buat macam mana awak tengok dalam video tu. So sebab tu lah saya ketagih benda tu dan saya minat nak buat benda tu. Saya suka WeChat sebab kat situ banyak dapat kawan yang baru. Tapi saya kebanyakan menggunakan people neighbor. Di situ dia ada tulis berapa kilometer daripada tempat kita. Di situ jugalah saya dapat kawan yang baru. Adalah kawan tak pasti antara lelaki perempuan. Masukkan saya dalam grup tu. Dia buat grup tu untuk kenalkan semua orang-orang yang kita tak kenal. Bila dah kenal tu, dia akan ceritalah. Tapi pada mula tu dia cerita macam intro sihat tak semua apa tu, dah makan belum. Tu lama-lama tu dia video. Dia macam pada mula kita tak tahu video apa. Bila kita tengok satu video tu, buat kita rasa macam ketagih benda tu. Dan diorang ada banyak lagi hantar. Saya tengoklah macam mana orang tu buat. Di situlah saya faham lah. Dia cakap, boleh tak saya nak gambar awak, boleh buat saya steam. So saya pun bagilah gambar tu. Dan saya pernah bagi gambar saya pakai tudung, takkan tudung dengan tak pakai baju. Bila dah lama dah mesej-mesej, borak-borak suka-suka tu, ada satu masa tu saya dengan dia cerita pasal pernah tak awak buat hubungan seksual. So saya belum lagi, saya tak pernah. Tapi saya nak merasa benda tu. Lepas tu bila saya dah bercakap dengan dia, dia kata dia nak jumpa saya dan nak buat benda tu. Dia ambil saya time nak balik sekolah lah. Dia bawa saya ke situ, saya macam keraskan pada saya supaya tak nak pergi situ. Dan dia tarik saya kuat-kuat masuk ke tempat yang dicari tu, dan kami buat seksa kat situ. Mulanya masa dia nak buat tu, saya ada tolak dia sebab saya tak nak buat benda tu. Dia menolak badan dia balik. Lepas tu saya cakap stop lah. Lepas tu dia kata, awak dah janji nak buat benda tu dengan saya. Lepas dia kata benda tu sakit dan saya tak larat dalam benda tu. Lepas tu dia hantar saya pulang. kat rumah tu banyak agama lah. Nanti dia kata, apa motif kau nak tahu benda tu? Sebab kau belum masa lagi nak tahu benda tu. Kakak saya kata lah, kalau nak dah kahwin, kalau kau nak tanya benda tu pun, baru kita orang boleh bagi tahu. Kalau macam saya umur macam sekarang ni, tak perlu tahu lagi. Fikir belajar. Sekolah kalau sains adalah. Dia ada cerita pasal sperma masuk ke ovum. Kalau macam seksual macam yang saya selalu buat tu, tak adalah.
Okay, so what this video shows us is that teenagers are curious, and sexual predators would use the angle of which to lure teenagers based on the curiosity and teach the teenagers or the victims. I won't say teenagers, but to lure the victims to teach them about sex. So if parents, if you do not teach your children about sex, there are dangers that predators out there could use this to lure them. Okay, so it is a very shocking thing. This is what's happening in Malaysia, and the incidences are increasing. So the reason why we are going into this is because we want to showcase to you what is real out there. Okay, so the question is child sexual grooming an offense in Malaysia? The answer is yes. Okay. Under the Sexual Offences Act Against Children, okay, Sexual Offences Against Children Act 2017 that was tabled as early as 2017. Okay, this Sexual Offences Against Children bill covers sexually communicating with a child grooming, meeting, following child grooming, physical sexual assault on a child, and non-physical sexual assault on a child. Okay, it also covers about making pornography with a child involved. So one of the details, it says anyone who having communicated by any means with a child, travels to meet the child or meets with the child with the intention to commit or to facilitate the commission of the sexual act, commits an offense under section 5, 6, or 7. Okay, a person can be jailed 10 years and also be whipped or caned. For example, I'll give you an example, okay? A, which is a sexual predator, communicates with Z, a child, via social media and pretends to be a teenager and develops a love relationship with Z with the intention of using Z in the making of child pornography or to take advantage, sexual advantage of the child. The thing is, A never meets Z. A is still guilty of the offense under this section. Okay. So many of you are asking, could have in your mind, what is the age classification of a child in Malaysia? Answer is anyone 18 years and below is considered a child. So if a groomer takes advantage of a child, elicits the child to pass him or her image, a nude image, that sexual groomer or predator can be charged under the Sexual Offences Against Children. Okay, as parents, we are always very concerned for our children. Okay, so we always have to know what are the warning signs to look out for to see whether our child is being groomed or is potentially being groomed. Okay, doesn't mean that it's 100%. If your child is going through this warning signs, doesn't mean that the child is 100% being groomed. But these are the signs for which you should look out for. If you see sudden and non-typical mood shifts or changes in behavior, right? Or if the child suddenly withdraws and becomes isolated, or you see a weight change, a sudden unnecessary interest in dieting. Again, I say this not to say that the child is being groomed when you see behaviors like this, but these are the signs of which to look out for and just to be cautious. Rapid shifts in beliefs and convictions. Secretiveness, okay, sneaking out at night, skipping school, demanding alone time, right? Again, there's a caveat on which I'm going to stress. Doesn't mean that your child is going through a process of being groomed when they go through this. But this is just to let parents know, okay, and just to be careful. These are some of the behaviors which other victims have gone through. Okay, sexual behavior using birth control and looking and acting provocatively, or this is a very high telltale sign. Okay, this last one. If they suddenly possess expensive items which they cannot afford to buy themselves, especially tech gadgets, okay, this is a very strong point. So the bottom line is this, right? How to protect your children. Always know this thing called SMART. Number one, safety. Okay. Tell your child, right, or teens out there, do not give out your personal information like your name, email address, phone number, home address to strangers you don't know. Okay. Don't meet anyone you just met online. Do not accept emails or any correspondence because it could contain viruses or something even worse out there. Reliability, okay? You don't know who you meet online is who he or she says it is, he or she is, and tell your parents, to let your parents know, okay? All right, okay, let me see here. Okay, so that's under SMART. Okay, for teens, okay, these are some of the most important things to remember. It's always remember, avoid using suggestive screen names or photographs, okay? Don't look seductively and take seductive photos online, okay, to protect yourself, to post it on your Facebook profile or any other places. If someone is flattering you online, be very cautious, okay? Be very careful. If anybody wants to talk too personal stuff, wants to get too personal, to get into details of your life that's too personal, be very careful. Keep in mind that people online may not always be who they say they are. Okay, predators can put a fake profile, impersonate anybody out there. So be very careful. Never arrange to meet someone which you met online, just like that. Okay, do not meet alone. Always bring somebody, like a few friends, to meet somebody, if anything. Okay, and always tell a parent or a trusted adult if you encounter a problem. Okay, if God forbid, should you have shared your images out there, don't continue falling prey to that predator. Reach out to tell somebody about it. Okay, there are people out there to help. If need be, then reach out to the friends which you have over here in the Seroptimist Club, or even reach out to your school counselors. Okay, don't keep it to yourself, because if you do keep it to yourself, you will still continue to be a victim of the sexual predator. For parents, okay, always educate your child the importance of not sharing anything online, especially the personal information. Okay, show your child news stories. You can show videos which are out there, especially videos of from the Rage team. Okay, they are out there. Show them the reality of situations here in Malaysia. Okay, discuss with them what are the modus operandi of which sexual predators use. Talk openly, honestly. Okay, teach them about sex, teach them basically about sex, so that you can teach them and not let the sexual predator teach them. Okay, and parents, please, I can't stress this enough. Talk with your children, not talk at your children. Okay, so there is a difference here. Agree with family guidelines and rules which you set. Okay, especially do not let anyone out there know your personal information. Discuss online safety regularly, so that reinforce that point. Okay, and remember one thing, right? Do not threaten to take your child's devices away. Because if you do that, right, then they will not share anything with you should there be any difficult times of which they encounter. So if your child is being harassed or courted by a sexual predator online, offline, number one, record all chat transcripts and communications. Take the name of the offender, the date and name of the place or the first contact with the offender. Okay, all this, you compile all this, you can report it to PDRM's D11 division as stated here. All this will be posted later on. Okay. Or if you have any nude pictures out there or pedophile images, go to this link, report.iwf.org.uk/my. Okay, this is especially to report any pedophile images out there, and the authorities will take action. All right, thank you very much for granting us with this opportunity to share with you this afternoon. Okay, anyone has any questions right now?
We don't have questions right now, Scott, and we are a little bit over time already. First, I'd like to thank all our viewers for allowing us to be a little bit over time. And just to let you know that this recorded session will be posted on the Seroptimist Facebook. And last but not least, thank you, Scott, for a wonderful and very interesting and enlightening session. And Paley, sorry about Paley because her internet is a little bit on and off, yeah? So we would like to tell the viewers that there will be more webinars to come from Seroptimist International Club of Bangsa, and also to let everyone know that we will be educating the teenagers via our Teenage Survival Kit. And before we end the seminar and webinar, I would like to really invite our club president, Madam Khoo Swat Ping, to say a few words. Thank you, everyone, for being here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Scott. And Madam Ping, over to you.
Thank you, Connie. Thank you very much, Scott, for a very interesting and informative session. It was, I think, time well spent. We also would like to thank the Foundation Rolf Schnyder for this collaboration. Thank you also to Paley for moderating. Sorry, your internet is giving you problems. And last but not least, I would like to thank all of you for attending this session. Please remember to check our Facebook and Instagram to find out more about our webinars which are being carried out under our Teenage Survival Kit. We will be conducting many more webinars on those issues. Also, can you please complete the feedback form, which will be shared, which we will send to you. I'm told that the link is not valid at the moment, so we will. Yeah, she has posted the link on the chat group, so please complete it to give us feedback so that we can make better webinars. Thank you again so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.